Welcome to What's the Word, and I'm Minister Samuel, and with me I have Deacon Chris, and we're actually doing a recap of this Sunday's message, which was brought forth by our own Minister Stania at the Temple of Radiant Light in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and I believe when she spoke on Sunday, she gave a very interesting um, remedy for those that are in um, you know, uh, peril or just in unrestful state of how the word tells us how we can come to a state of rest. And she gave a 3-step strategy for how we can get to rest. And you remember what those were?
Yes, but before that, let me actually go over the scripture.
Mhm.
The scripture was taken from Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, which reads as follows: Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Once
Yeah.
again, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I believe the three steps that she pointed out was come, take, and learn.
Yes, yeah. And it broke out very simply in those 3 points. Just come. The first one was to come. And that's actually one of the first things for us to even have success in many different areas is to show up.
Amen.
Because God is always there, and He's always there kind of waiting for us, and it's for us to show up and to come to Him. So that was the first step. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Then it says, take. Yeah, take. And you remember what she was talking about with the take part? The yoke. Remember that yoke? I remember distinctly because I remember we did a discussion with the children about the yoke and how the yoke was put on 2 animals to kind of walk together and to carry a burden or to carry whatever load they were carrying. So it talks about taking his yoke upon you because now you're not doing it by yourself. Because that's what I mean. I believe that's one of the benefits of even having a relationship with the Lord is that you're not going through life by yourself. You're taking that yoke, taking His yoke upon you, and you have a partnership through life. So anything that anything you're going through in life is not you by yourself anymore.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then the third point was,
Learn.
yeah. So what do we have to learn?
Learn of me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, your favorite scripture comes to mind with that, which is, and I can know it from the back of my head.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge Him, He'll direct our paths. And that's taken from Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6. So, and in that, we know that we can definitely trust in the Lord for anything.
Mhm.
So when Minister Stanley broke down a message about take a load off, the first point was come. Second point was take. Remember, we're talking about that load. Minister Samuel gave the example about the oxen being yoked together.
Mhm.
And learn of me, learn of Jesus,
Yes.
or learn of the Father. And, that's a path many can take to actually relieve the current situations.
Yeah.
Because everybody's thing is different. Some people could walk in and they have a happy face and all that, but they're actually really burdened down.
Yeah.
And this 3-step process actually gives people a way to actually get out of that burdened state. And I have to even go back to even where it says just even removing that burden
Mhm.
when Mr. Samuel gave the example about the yoke holding those 2 oxen together. But one of the things about the yoke also, that yoke was crazy scratchy because it
Mhm.
was wood, it had splinters all pointing over it,
Mhm.
and that's not something that you want to have. And there's another scripture which Jesus says, basically, come unto me, my burdens are easy, my yoke is light.
Mhm.
And life following Jesus will make your load even easier because you'll
Yeah.
find out a lot of things that you don't even have to take that load upon yourself. You can just give it to Him.
Mhm.
And I would say that a lot of times we grew up independently thinking that we can do everything. And God has given us the ability to do all things, He said
Mhm.
in His Word. But there are times when we see that certain situations are beyond our control and we actually have to give it to the Father.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate Minister Stania breaking out the Word to us this past Sunday. Once again, the message was take a load off. And I admonish anybody here to actually go through that scripture, 11:28 of Matthew.
Mhm.
Look through that scripture again, and you take that load off. You don't need to be carrying all the burdens by yourself.
Yes. Excellent point. So, once again, if you feel like you have a load, come, take, and learn. And that's a
Amen.
three-step process to help you with the load that you have. So that's today's What's the Word. We hope you join us next week for next week's What's the Word.